much chaos. It's so hard to try and figure out when the Shale F2 comes through. And here it is. OUG's the king. There's the It's DRG's side, and he's incredibly low already, and there it is. I told you keep an eye out for the F2, and that's exactly why.
That's about to come back up as well here from the king. Absolutely beautiful. Still got that tether on, though, from the Tessa. Needs to try and pop that away. They're going to get themselves charmed up any second. Are able to break away. F's about to come back up for the king. Immediately going to look for it. Able to just liquefy the health bars. Picking up the kill, but that charm from the Tessa was huge by DRG. And they are able to take down the Shale and the rest of them. DRG, fantastic turnaround there onto OUG. Only getting one kill. And it really came down to the power of that Tessa. The Tessa ult charges up so quick. You can cast it at 50% rage. You get 2 charges at 100. And just use that ultimate advantage to win the fight overall. Beautiful play there by DRG. Quick thing to note, Alliance actually dropped miles away from the action. They are again playing a potentially slow-paced game. I'm not sure I'm a fan of this because more and more teams are going to look to try and overtake and catch up. Bowder already on the board, and that number may just raise up here as Keck and Yoran going toe-to-toe versus one another. They are just going to try and re-engage and rejoin with the rest of their team. 2-tick, low HP, Keck caught out as well. Absolutely beautiful. Coming in, they do have that Tessa to worry about. The charm could potentially be the undoing, but Bowder find himself 3, ring the bell to make sure they're safe, and they are good to go. 3 kills for Bowder off the bat. Absolutely stellar day from them. Obviously, issues at the beginning. We can't overlook the fact their first 2 games, lots of kills, very, very early ejection from the game, but made such a recovery, and the mental fortitude of Bowder is so impressive. I'm really, really sold on these guys today. They've been playing very, very well.
Yeah, Bowder have definitely been impressing. I believe Raven said that they got XEG's former coach, which is the reason why they've been doing so much better. As we can have a look and see the JL BVV coming in with that Zai F3 immediately into ultimate activation to be able to get the reset. Doesn't quite manage to find the second connect onto Alliance's Bow, who's already gone incredibly low. Has to be careful. There's the Matari ultimate coming for a little bit of time as VVV just trying to find the follow-up. Coming on out, wants to try and land in with the RMB, goes onto the low ground. Really good interceptions coming in from the other players of Alliance, specifically that fan, scooping the Zai away before they're able to lock in with the kill. But the ultimate comes on through the Kona and the F3, getting that reset, immediately finding the connection and catch onto Alliance's lane. The chase potential on this Zai is absolutely enough, as you can have all of the reset and all of the distance that the F3 allows you to provide. Catching onto Alliance's Revenges over into City of 10. We've got DRG and OUG going head-to-head. SS on that Shale does have the ultimate, doesn't have the ability to be able to use it. However, with that Viper V3 coming on for eats all of the damage from the charged RMB on the Dual Halberds, utilizes that V1 now to be able to knock back Wujin and buy himself a little bit of safety. Is he able to land anyone into the headlock at this time? That's one shield block already going to be proxies, just down to the 1 now. Unfortunately, only having 3 intruders, making it just as hard as I predicted. There's the headlock coming through into Wolves. EG doesn't manage to find any confirmation though, because the Bane's Breath is making it so much harder for him to move. Wolves with the Bane's Breath trapping the Shale's position, and there's nothing the king can do but watch as this crown falls to the wayside. As Bane says, there's a new monarch in town, and it's me.
I think OUG might have cooked a little bit too hard here, if I'm going to be real with you, mate. This wasn't it. I think they need to go. I think they need to go back to cooking school. That was, yeah. You see the potential early, but they still lost that early fight because Tessa ult is just so valuable. I'm not sure. I like the Zai. I like Shale, but I don't think together they're really doing much, especially in trios. So a little bit unfortunate on that front, as we are just seeing JJH being zoned away by JL. JL still has some work to do, even though they got that MVP. They started today very low in the standings, so they've got a lot more work to do to try and climb up towards that 74-point mark, where they are going to, well, going to be able to actually get himself into a match point. Still feels like everybody's a little bit of a ways off that match point opening, as Wushin 98 opens up onto Wolves here, but he is taken down very quickly by Wolves in response. We did see the bell get popped there by EG to make sure that they survived, and Wolves Got themselves 3 kills already. They're going to have
but
the
their loot...
Yang spawning up soon.
Their loot is so stacked. They have full purple armor and purple weapon on their monk. That's huge.
He's good. That's what I'm saying. The Roma Yang, he's going to be terrifying in there. I'm curious how some of these team comps are actually going to do versus it, because the meta right now, a lot of the comps I actually think handle Transformers really well, hence why Transformers kind of fell off the meta.
The
still
Zip,
relatively good.
The
isolated.
Zip handles the monk the best, but there's so little Sand Siphon in this lobby.
True. You are right. I feel
because that's the problem. Like with Transformers, when Sand Siphon came through, Zip Ultimate basically meant that Zip did not have to put herself into line of sight of the monk to be able to utilize the ultimate. And even if a double grab went through, even if the Transformer team played it absolutely perfectly, they still just would not be able to get through the Zip ultimate in time to be able to find a kill, even through a double grab.
So what do you make of it then? Obviously, because Zip's appearing in these Matari comps now, the Meteor comp now. So what we making of that? I really hope we do get to see this Zip comp show up versus the monk and see how that fares, because I feel like it's very easy to land those Fs on a monk. It's a big model and you're getting 3 of them. You're going to absolutely obliterate that health bar. So I'm going to be very excited to see how these how they fare up. And
you know what's going to happen? 100%. We're going to get Wolves versus JJH. We're going to get the two
That'd be so funny.
Gonna get Jihadis. Oh no, Powder! No!
Did they just get a...
Yet again, they struggle. They struggle in just being able to convert. They're still alive. They still had their revives, but...
Yeah, I thought they didn't have the revives there for a
moment. Nah, that would have been incredibly unfortunate. But both Bida and Alliance being a lot quieter. But like I said, you have to be careful about GG on Holoroth. They're already up to 4 kills. Granted, they're on a composition that's probably not going to take a round of Yang fight, but they're still on a composition that's going to be able to just prosper from all of the teams that are forced into fighting around them because of Yang depletion. Even if you're able to cleanse Yang depletion with a Soul Bloom, a lot of times just having the debuff and having to all in on these fights is what actually ends up getting you killed and sending you out of the lobby early, both in solos and trios, because these teams have become so good at just seeing the way that teams around them play and whether or not they're just forced to endlessly chase you as you try and kite them around the map, figuring out, okay, this is a team that has Yang depletion, we're going to be able to properly utilize that and put them through the paces. As we can have a look and see, is there any team that wants to put themselves into such a position? With Sand Siphon not really being huge in this lobby, there's not a lot of comps that can go through. There's OUG and DRG go head-to-head. We can see SS coming in with that Zai ultimate, looking to try and set up the fire tip. We'll be able to land a couple of hits, but the Karumi is doing such a good job of being able to keep them alive currently with that armor circle restore, allowing SS to be able to just sit in that space, ignore the fact that like does not get damage up on her golden frames, and as a result, it's actually DRG who were forced to hit the eject cord, which then teleport out and just nope out of the fight. As some of these other teams noping out of the realm of Yang Challenge entirely. TE and JL, however, not one of those teams. It is going to be a head-to-head. We are going to get a 3v3. This is not a Transformer team. I can't remember what exactly TE are running with. It's going to be JL, though, with that Matari, with that Zai. VVV going up into the sky. That's the first F3. Finding the connection and the fire tick damage. There's the ultimate conversion as well to be able to get the hit of the next F3 coming into play. Drops down into the Karumi ultimate to put pressure onto the player sitting in the middle of it, catching onto 2. Windy Trinity now looking to put pressure onto the Zai as TE's hand sees the Zai. Knows that he has to use the Cicada shells and push the Zai out of the way. VVV with the next F3 though. Repositions to get himself into the mix. The Zip ultimate kicks in, keeping the Zai healed up and alive. The Matari ultimate as well, making sure that VVV is able to disappear and reappear with the next charge of the fire cone. JL yet again of putting this composition to the absolute worst. F3 comes in from VVV. VVV. He's getting more follow-up damage onto TE's hand. Doesn't have the ultimate any longer, though. Backs on off, swaps over to the pistol to keep applying pressure, and that's going to be enough to take the Takeda down. One thing going incredibly low has to slip away as VVV steps up to the plate to be able to absorb the pressure coming through and try and buy a little bit of reset. TE's LYD gets hit into the stone form. VVV coming through with the nunchucks, looking to go for the red flash in case LYD throws out that 1-2, and the Ep.4 does enough damage to confirm another kill, and the Zai composition comes out yet again.
OUG are taking themselves a fight versus OUG. This is a big fight for both sides here. Parry connected onto one. Immediately, we're seeing the Tessa Charm come down, but they are able to separate themselves from the action for the moment. LXM trying to keep that pressure up here on that Viper. Doesn't have the ultimate up and available for themselves. Just getting a cheeky heal off. The King's already down, so GG can control the pace of this fight. They are just going to blink OUG out. Oh no, it's GG who blink out, while OUG get themselves the reset off. And SS is actually feeling pretty aggressive right now. It's going to continue the chase forwards. You get so much movement when you've got the chain scythe. The surfing you can do with that weapon, you get so much movement and mobility off the back of that. As we are now first transform we've seen of a Monk in game, or at least on our cameras, as Godly is being melted, because this is what happens when you play Monk in the current meta. You get killed very quickly. Big target taken down. JL looking to try and see if they can control the rest of this fight. They've still got all of that pressure. Remember, Vermilion Bird's Might is in their pocket. They'll just put the damage in, but TE are showing up on the flank here as a third party to try and finish this one up. JL, they can play as aggressive as they like. They've still got that Bird's Might to work with, and we are seeing them looking for a potential turnaround already. One thing's been burnt. They are able to get Flame in response, so it's not complete loss over the board. Looking to pick up another one. VVV's going down. That's their third pop as well. JL only have the one player left standing. It's TXJ. Maybe a miracle and an extra kill can come through, but I think that's going to be very hard with the stagger locking. TE with a beautiful third party coming in to tidy that one up.
That was really needed as well, because JL are on 7 kills currently, Jake. If they'd kept up that momentum, they could well be on their way to the 74 match gap, something that Alliance does not want to see another team hit in front of them. Speaking of Alliance have found themselves into a fight lane. Throws out the focus strike and gets parried for his troubles. He's silenced, will be able to break free with the dash before the Tessa V1 enchantment hits the Justina, and Alliance are able to keep the Justina still in play as a result. JDG forced to go for the Wuchen teleport. Like you said, that Wuchen incredibly low. No armor swap has come through either, and Alliance are going to be able to keep up the pressure. 2 players of JDG having to stick behind and allow that Wuchen to be able to find the little bit of time to go for that reset moment. Revenge looking to try and come in with the V1 enchantment, but he gets grapple locked in place and can't interact with the soul in time. And Harry, the 1-2 into follow-up horizontal punish from the staff. Revenge with a double parry, single-handedly turning the fight around. JDG thought they had the Yodo dead to rights. They got overconfident, Jake, and it will cost them.
And they are back, Alliance. They are so close now to that 74-point mark. An absolutely horrific game number 3, but they bounced back here in game 4. Had a very, very slow start, but were able to start to put some kills together. And that was a very close fight for them. Really, really well played. I'm sure they're patting themselves on the back for that, but they haven't finished their work. They've still got a few more points to put together. Now, TE taking on Wolves here in a fight. Quick jump up. Whisper's going to go a little bit wide. Hand trying to find the turnaround. Is able to get it onto Zem. Zem goes down. And this looks like this is actually all but Wolves cooked at this point. Last player left standing, ZK. Not really going to be able to survive this one. It's just trying to get a desperation kill onto Leo. But Leo is just backstepping and repeating crossbowing him down. TE making a recovery. They're at the bottom of the table, but 8 points on the board. Lovely little game coming in from TE as they've come alive on this map, but I've still got my eyes on JL. Week 2 on the 4th day, JL won all of the Hollow Off game. 3 games back-to-back. They are incredibly capable on this map, and they just had an amazing game number 2, game 3. Got that momentum going with them and going forwards. As we are actually catching Alliance inside their realm of Yang. Lane on this Justina is so good to watch. Had the dreadful wail and all does get grabbed out of it by EG, which is a massive, massive play from them.
Yeah, but he doesn't get slammed. Revenge of the Yoda staggers the monk, so Lane's able to slip out of the hand before the slam comes through.
And that's why the monk.
Yeah, like
monk
that's
was always counted by her.
on this replay. That is clean and clinical. Like Lane comes in with the Justina V1 dash to be able to lock the players up to get into the charged LMB, the uppercut confirmation, to be able to go into the Dreadful Whale. And like, there's nothing you can do when you're caught up in that one.
Well, we're
going to potentially get to see it again. Are Alliance going to be able to pull it out again? They're up against OUG. OUG, remember, are running the Sheol, the Zai, and the Z-Ping. And I cannot wait to see how this goes into play, because this is a really good composition to come through for the realm of Yang. And it's not Transformers, which means no extended freeze. However, Lane with the V1 finds the freeze, looking to lock down the Karumi before coming in with that pole sword. Comes in with the blistering edge with the Yodo covering for him. Tries to find another freeze onto the Karumi, forces the Parasol Swift Step. However, and as a result, gets the blistering edge to connect onto the Zite behind the Karumi too. Lane just charging up that pole sword, using the Phantom Step to be able to keep the pressure onto the Karumi. Will be able to drop down OUG's U, and off of the back of that, there is no sustain that OUG can sit in to make sure that they're able to live through. Alliance get the kills needed. I do believe that puts them above 74 points. And Jake, they've now been able to scale up to take this final zone as well. That's going to be a flamer that they pick up, as well as a legendary fan. And there it is, confirmation. Alliance with 75 points. And you know 100% what's going to haunt them, Jake? If they just hit 74 in the game before, if they get MVP in this game, they're going to know they could have ended the day right here, right now.
Well, they can take comfort in the fact that last game was terrible by them, so it's fine. They can bounce back comfortably off this.
What's comforting about that?
Because there was no way they were going to win if they got MVP here, because they didn't get that win, unfortunately for them. So it's fine. They just got to repeat their performance and get that MVP. The problem is there's a lot of people, a lot of teams who are playing very, very well right now. GG,
seems like
6 kills deep in. Absolutely amazing performance from them. JL7. TE did have 8, but they are out. But a bunch of teams are scoring. So Alliance, even though they're leading the charge right now, they have their work cut out for them, because there are a bunch of teams hot on their heels and are desperate to also get those qualifying points now. They won't be aware.
Oh, gee. I don't think they had a soul one.
Oh, they're so doomed. But no one's going to be aware until after this game, but Alliance have qualified. They'll have a rough idea, and by this point, they'll be like, Alliance have probably qualified. So they're desperately also trying to get to that 74 points. That's the key thing. You also want to be on 74 points, so your next MVP is your win. And that's all you can really play for right now. As OUG, with the debuff, can't find any Soul Blues. Oh, hello, they found a DRG member, but they didn't see them, but they were in the distance. Desperately looking around. 2 minutes 30 left. I think they did the old switcheroo. I think they heard something in the distance.
There's a bounty.
Oh, there's a bounty. That's so lucky for them.
Yeah, they've been hunting that bounty. As I was going to say, I don't think they had a soul wound. The kills that they got were around about City of Tang, which unfortunately is in that Corruption 6 damage. And also they didn't win clean fights. So as a result, they didn't just get to sit and leave the bodies from a full team kill. And now they're forced, unfortunately, to have to chase after the team that they put the bounty onto with only 2 minutes remaining, though it looks like they might have given up. They see that the other team is just kiting into a place that's going to be way too hard to be able to lock their movements down entirely. And they just now have to path around those bells, ring them, and hope that they can find another team. They might be able to run into JJH. We also have JL, however, in the minimap as well. So we do know that there are multiple teams in this area, and this is not brilliant terrain for Shield to be able to take a fight on. There's the F2 initiation directly onto JJH's Godly, but unfortunately the King gets caught up inside the Tumult Wisp and has to immediately have his team try and bail him out. We're going to see the ultimate activation come through from the Sheol, but there is so little that he can do when he just gets grabbed up by JJH's Godly because they weren't able to instantly push the monk down and melt him up. JJH's Flames with that Farrier as well, making it even harder for these players to just sit at the monk's feet and melt him down with something like Pulse Sword or Fan. Godly does go incredibly low, however, and VVV with the homing missile. Okay, triple strike, airstrike coming fully into play as Godly goes down in a puff of smoke. VVV needs to change its game tag to Houdini as the King is about to disappear in a very similar fashion. VVV with that V2 on that Zai, putting so much work in with the fire tick cone. And as a result, OUG are in full panic mode right now. VVV with the golden frame on the Zai ultimate as well, going to be able to land a killing blow onto OUG's the King. Slips away, grabs the soul bloom to be able to keep up some of that rage percentage. And OUG are down to 15 seconds. They're just trying to find a kill onto JJH's Godly. He might be that saving grace. They're able to down the barrier, pick up the bloom on one of their players. SS picks it up and just has to fully disengage as Bao to show up on the scene and take down OUG's U. But crucially for OUG, SS lives potentially to fight another day or maybe to give another kill to JL because he burns the F3. He's going to get the parry onto one of the players from JL, but he's stuck against the wall. The pulse of light attack staggers him up and TXJ brings him down.
A miracle fell from the sky there for OUG. A grey health Chalui, and they were like, oh, cool, a free kill, and then immediately get taken out. But, oh, that was absolutely beautiful. One last parting gift for OUG on the way out of this game is, CJS finds himself in a little bit of danger. The Wisp catches flames, spits out some flames, and gets toasted for it with a pistol there by LXM, able to take him down. Looks like GG are going to be able to get themselves to safety. KLA getting a free Mora's Blessing. No contest coming in on this one. Golden armor to Cuckoo. Going to pick up and make sure everybody is nice and geared up. Alright, so I'm curious of your thoughts on this one. Who do you think in this team should have the priority on the golden armor? Because obviously Zai's always going to be the focus. Do you think they're more important than the Justina to get it?
I mean, the Justina is currently the one Skype tracking. So the Justina is the one that if someone is hiding inside a purple bush is the one that's about to get quite literally ambushed.
True. I still feel like I think QGG should have it because, like, they are your damage, and if they get taken out, it's
yeah, but I'm pretty sure they're running the F1 on their Zai, not the F3. There's a Zai in this lobby not running the F3.
Interesting. Okay. Why?
So I would expect that they have it on their Justina because they understand that with how late in the game we've gone, that Justina getting the free shell as her defensive is not the greatest because one, you're going to be static, and two, those flamers are just going to absolutely melt through that one CD. So it's much more important as well because the Justina is like the setup. Zai is very, very strong in 1v1s and also in coming in for like third parties when teams are already fighting and you can catch multiple people into the V2 and the stagger of that. But Justina is going to be the one a lot of the time who has to be playing Scout and is going to be a little bit further away from the rest of her team and is also potentially going to be the one going further ahead of her team to be able to chase things like Wu Chen down with the teleport, right? So you want to make sure if you are going to be separated, if your Zai has the F1 and is going to be able to play her safety like that, that the Justina has that safety line to her name as well. But we'll see. Maybe they swap over that legendary armor to one of their other players as the zone continues. As we get to have a look. I know JL's definitely running the F3 because we've seen VVV just absolutely missile strike onto players.
Alrighty, well, 6 minutes left in this game. GG closing in, and JL, honestly, an MVP from either of these two games, these two players, teams, wow, that's the word I'm looking for. Teams, MVP of enough kills is enough to qualify, and then suddenly Alliance are threatened. The problem for GG and JL is they've divided a lot of the kills between them, so they've denied each other at the same time while gaining what they can, as VVV just F's up to head around the edge of the Bane's Breath. I actually think that's quite a smart idea there. Gonna have it back in time, gets away to safety, and is able to get away. It looks like GG are now on this low ground. We've got a bit of time before this game comes out, but we have had a very fast-paced game, Moxie. 6 minutes left, 15 players left in the game, so it's been incredibly fast-paced. There's only 5 teams left. Been a lot of people evicted from the game as the Bane's Breath still has a little bit left, 22 seconds until that goes off. At which point, I expect things to open up a little bit more and maybe a little bit more of the action to break out as
Bowder.
And a bit of scouting.
Their loot, their equipment is so far behind everyone else in this lobby.
Yeah, it is. This is the first bad game.
Blue armor on everyone. GG spotted this out. Like, they're going into the flamer. They're not going to all in, but they are just pushing this team further away from other teams in the area so they don't get third-partied. If they do decide, yeah, flamer to just push Bowder into a really rough position and so that GG can absorb all of the space and play with this little bit of cover around the wall. Alliance going to be playing from the high ground. Bowder still getting pressured by GG, also going to be running directly into KLA as well as everyone starts to go aerial, trying to challenge that space so they can be the ones refereeing with the cannon fire. Have to be careful that they don't stick in the area too long, however, as they do see the Alliance with a cannonball composition, or rather the Justina variation, are going to be hugging that particular space, and as a result, no one really wants to contest it because GG are on a composition that's very good for third partying, JL on a composition that's very good for third partying, and as a result, no one really wants to go against the sustain that cannonball compositions provide. Alliance keeping themselves as mobile as possible, putting pressure onto KLA. We knew that lane had that dreadful whale. We get to see it come on out. KLA now know that it's going to be in play as JL actually gets hit by the Tessa V1. Coming through from
JL.
GG. VVV is going to go down, and it's going to be JL now lacking that Zai to be able to utilize the fire tick. As GG taking pressure from JL, who were looking to scale rush and push GG off of the space before VVV bleeds on out. TXJ trying to, with the Matari, push GG even further so that they can stick this revive. But Bowder have spotted JL's plan, and they collapse on the Matari once TXJ drops to the low ground. We'll be able to claim the kill onto that one. LXM going incredibly low, but crucially, GG still have that Wuchen teleport. We'll be able to teleport, but immediately drop directly on top of Bowder, and the Justina ultimate that Bowder put directly on top of them. Stanchion pushes CJS into having to rewrite, and he goes directly into a merciless havoc from another team starting to come on through. GG, unfortunately, having to utilize that Witch and teleport, had absolutely no clue of the danger that they were dropping into, as is the norm when you get at least late into the game before those Witch and teleports. The CJS taking a lot of pressure on that high ground, has to drop down to the low. He gets spotted out, however, looks like target lock is hitting him as he's able to utilize that Tessa F1 to push Bowder's Yiran away. Unfortunately, gets caught up on the ceiling into the merciless havoc and is still incredibly low enough that he actually does end up going down. And now it's just GG's free trying to scarish off of the cliff and live as long as he possibly can. Bowder pick it up with the cannon coming through and put themselves up to 7 kills, and crucially 60.7 points, eliminating GG before they can hit up past 62. And now we go down to 9 players left. 3 full teams, Alliance, Bowder, and KLA. If Bowder pull this one off, they might be able to hit into the 70 points that they need to be able to become MVP eligible. KLA starting to take pressure. QGG going to be coming in with that Zai.
Bowder!
Bowder, however, playing off of the opportunity. Catch onto Alliance's lane. The Justina is down. QGG with the ultimate activation gets a reflex on that Zai. Free comes on through, but gets caught mid-air by Alliance's with the Yoda V3. And now it's going to be 6 players left. Yiran with the Justina ultimate, looking to find a freeze and follow on the RMB on this hub, as we'll be able to catch onto KLA's Cuckoo. And Bowder now 64.6.
I think they've done it.
And it comes on through. Bowder just need a couple more cleanup kills to come out, and they're able to become an MVP. And it's now going to be KLA CXC getting absolutely roasted and toasted both by Corruption and Flamer. And now it's just cleanup on aisle 3, as it's just a 1 versus 3. What can Alliance's Revenge do? Absolutely not. As Bowder walk away with the MVP. But crucially, Jake, how many points